Welcome to Bread and Roses, everyone. Hi, I'm Maryam Namazie.
And I'm Fariborz Pooya.
In this week's program, we'll be talking about Asia Bibi's case. The fact that she's been released from death row, she's still not safe, and why we need to defend blasphemy rights, defend Asia, and make sure she is safe.
Interview this week is with Ensaf Haidar on condition of Raif Badawi, the most famous political prisoner in the world in Saudi Arabia.
We met up with her at the Freedom from Religion convention where she was winning an award, and we had a chance to speak to her and the struggle of Saudi freethinkers across the world. The slice of life yes. This week is mothers singing in support of their kids who have Down syndrome and how they don't want their kids to change. It's the world that they want changed. Stay with us, don't go away. Asia Bibi, the Pakistani Christian woman who was on death row in Pakistan for over 8 years, has been freed, which is really wonderful news. Unfortunately, though, she's still not safe. She and her family need to be given asylum. They need to get out of the country. But of course, Islamists want her head, and they are continuing to threaten and intimidate. They've even said that the judges that voted for her to be acquitted should be killed. The lawyer, Saif al-Maluk, who defended her and got her acquitted, has had to flee the country, and of course she's in hiding, which just shows how ridiculous the situation is.
I mean, Asia Bibi's case is one of those moments in Pakistani society and history that shows the battle that is going on in that country. On one hand, you have the Islamists who are trying to sort of completely dominate society and remove any sign of decent society, and on the other you have people who are fighting for secularism and they've been defending her as well. The encounter, a very innocent encounter in a working field between Asia Bibi and other people, turned into a huge blasphemy case, and the Islamists are, of course, they're looking for such opportunities to advance their own cause.
And one of the things is, of course, that there was really no blasphemy in a sense. She's actually the one who has been the victim in this, where because she drank from a cup that Muslim women drank too, it resulted in an argument. But the issue is that even if she wasn't innocent, there shouldn't be any blasphemy laws. And of course, what it shows also is that blasphemy laws affect everyone, including religious minorities, but also Muslims who are languishing under blasphemy laws, and atheists and others too. So it's really one of those laws that are persecuting anyone and targeting people, scapegoating people when the situation arises.
Absolutely, is a means by which Islamists maintain their own dominance and the power they have in society, and that's one of the things that, if for any society to free itself, the first step is to remove religion and religious law from the public sphere and public institutions. And you could see the negative impact of blasphemy in practice in Pakistan.
Yeah, and one of the other things too is, of course, this whole mob violence and how it results in victims being blamed and Islamists being appeased. We know, for example, that the UK government has really decided not to give Asia Bibi asylum because of security concerns. Again, the mob violence is winning. We've seen situations where the European Court of Human Rights, for example, in a separate case on blasphemy against Mohamad, Islam's prophet, has said that hurting religious sentiments could hurt the peace in society. Again, this idea that mob violence is okay, and I think that's why this battle against blasphemy is so crucial.
Absolutely. You've seen how the Islamists, it doesn't matter what it is, either through blasphemy or naked violence, they murder and they kill and remove anybody who opposes them. The Punjab minister was murdered, and one of Asia Bibi's who defended her, he was also assassinated in broad daylight by the Islamists who do not sort of hide the fact that they are responsible for this, and they use the the excuse of hurt, their sensibility has been hurt, as excuse to commit murder and mayhem in Pakistani society.
I think one of the things that's important is to remember is, if you remember when Stephen Fry was accused of blasphemy in Ireland for saying God is cruel and inhuman and so on and so forth, the prosecution didn't go forward because the police said that there weren't enough people who were outraged at what he had said. And I think that's really key in the fight against blasphemy, using it as a weapon to normalize it, so that it does sort of challenge those who want people's head for what they consider blasphemy.
Absolutely. For Pakistani society to move forward and advance, they need to remove the power of the Islamists, and one of those means by which to maintain the power and hold in society is blasphemy law. Ireland removed blasphemy law recently from the statute book, and that's Pakistan must follow, and this blasphemy law should be abolished in Pakistan and everywhere.
Ensaf Haidar, such a wonderful pleasure to have you on our program. Congratulations on the Freedom from Religious Fundamentalism Award. Can you tell us a bit about what this award means to you?
First of all, I would like to thank you, Maryam, that I've heard that you were nominating me for the prize, and I would really like to thank you for that. It means a lot for me. The awards that I received and Raif did, and the ones that we got in both our names.
معنى إنه أحد أو منظمة تكرمني وتكرم رايف، معناته إنهم مؤمنين بقضيتنا، معناته إنهم حيفضلوا معنا يدعمونا أيام رايف.
Shows that they haven't forgotten about our cause, and that they will stay with us until Raif is released. That's why it means so much for me.
It's a very difficult situation that you're in. Tell us a bit about how long ago you saw Raif, how long ago he saw his children.
أنا طلعت من السعودية قبل ما رايف يعتقل. طلعت من السعودية في النهاية.
I went outside of Saudi Arabia at the end of 2011.
رايف الآن صار له أكثر من 6 سنوات.
It's been 6 years since he was in prison, and we've been for 5 years in Quebec. In total, the kids haven't seen their father for 7 years.
How is that for them? It must be really difficult.
للأسف ما عندهم خيارات يعني.
They don't have other options than to try to reconcile with the fact that he is in prison. All they have is those dreams of their father, and the dream that he will be free, and that's what gives them the positive energy for them to move forward and try to reconcile with the fact that he's in jail.
And tell us a bit about Raif's work. What was he working on that resulted in his being imprisoned?
رايف أنشأ موقع إلكتروني.
Raif made a website that talks about human rights, rights of women, and liberal thoughts, and the freedom of belief. He called it the Free Liberal Network, and he established that at 2006.
أنشأ الموقع في 2006، وكان رايف كمان يكتب في جريدة سعودية. فما يعني كتابات رايف ما كانت كتابات سلمية، ما كانت ضد دولة أو ضد لا.
Raif used to write even for a newspaper in Saudi Arabia. All of his writings were not against the state, so he felt fairly comfortable with me leaving Saudi Arabia, and he told me that in maximum it's going to be 1 month and he's coming after us. So we felt very comfortable leaving, but he didn't make it out.
Also, I mean, it's just his story and yours is so astonishing. I mean, even his lawyer, Walid Abu Khair, has been put in prison now for 15 years. But tell us a bit about that, because you're also related to Walid, aren't you?
هو المواضيع يعني
He wasn't sent to prison because he was the lawyer for Raif. He's also a civil rights activist, and after 3 years of the sentence of Raif, he was charged and convicted for his own separate lawsuit that has nothing to do with Raif's situation or for him or about him being the lawyer for Raif.
I mean, one of the things you said in your speech is also that it's not just about Raif's case, but about human rights cases in Saudi Arabia. How much do you feel that you're a voice of not just Raif, but people who are in prison wrongly there?
زي ما قلت أنا في خطابي إنه قضية رايف مش قضية شخص، قضية رايف قضية وطن، قضية أشخاص، قضية ناس كتير معتقلين والسبب
As I've said in my speech, it is Raif's case is not an individual case. It represents all the civil rights issues within Saudi Arabia, and everybody, and I encourage everybody who's in a democracy to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves and for those cases in those countries. And that's in fact that is a duty for those people who believe in those rights, and because I do, I feel that it's my duty too.
I mean, something about you is that you just seem so strong. You know, you're always very very articulate, very strong. You never seem it never seems to break you. Where do you get that strength from?
من عدم الخيارات، ما في خيارات كتير
lack
يعني.
of options. I don't have another choice than to be strong. I have no other option than to, because I am a mother of 3 and I cannot break. That's why I have to provide them with the positive attitude, and I have to keep myself positive in order, not just for me, it's for them too.
I mean, Raif does seem like one of the most famous political prisoners in the world. I think a lot of it has to do with your work. What more can be done to help get him free?
يفضلوا يطالبوا بحرية رايف وحرية معتقلين.
Everybody who has a voice that they can use and they're free to use it should ask for Raif's release. If it's a duty for those who believe in those rights to do so. And that's how they can help, by having all of these voices together calling for his release. He's not a terrorist, he's not a criminal, he just expressed his mind.
And I suppose the question about Raif is, we know a lot about his writings, about what he stood for. Tell us something about him personally that we don't know, with, you know, things that you really love about him.
كل شيء تقريبا يعني.
I loved everything about him.
رايف مختلف تماما يعني عن الشعب العربي السعودي اللي أنا تعايشت معاه، مثلا أخواني أهلي، مختلف تماما عنه.
I loved everything about him, especially that he was very different than all of what I'm used to in Saudi Arabia. He was very different than all of the Arab men that I've met. He's the one who gave me my freedom and my strength. He could have tried to control me. He could have told me, no, you stay here and you do not leave. But he insisted that I should leave the country first and then he will follow us. He's the one that taught me how to have the strength I have right now. He's the one who taught me how to have the strength I have right now.
And I mean, the thing is, there's now 3.5 years left to his 10-year imprisonment. What next? Do you hope he'll be free sooner? What's going to happen next, do you think?
أكيد أنا هذا الأمل على طول عندي يعني، وكل ما حصل أحداث وكل ما صار تغييرات أقول خلاص هذا الفرج قريب. أنا الآن أتمنى.
That's the hope that I have. that with all the recent events and every time something changes in Saudi Arabia, I have hope that this might lead to his release. If he doesn't, and even if he does, there's still a problem that he has a travel ban for 10 years, even after he does his sentence. So even when he leaves, even if after 3.5 years, he still cannot leave the country for another 10 years. I've asked the Prime Minister Trudeau to give him the Canadian citizenship, so that at least we can defend in a way that he must be out of Saudi Arabia and come for us in Canada.
I read your book some time ago, and in it you had talked about how your parents didn't want you to marry each other, and you married each other even though no one agreed in your family. Do you have any regrets being married to Raif? I'm sure not, but I'm just asking you the question.
طبعا.
Of course not.
بالعكس هذا الصح الوحيد اللي عملته في حياتي.
That's the only right thing I did in my life.
That's lovely. So, what else specifically should people do? I know putting pressure, if you give specific things, like 1, 2, 3, what people can do to support Raif, to support your foundation, the work that you do.
أكيد إحنا الآن عندنا مؤسسة رايف بدوي للفكر الحر. المؤسسة مفتوحة طبعا للجميع، ولكن بصفة خاصة.
We have established the Raif Badawi Foundation, and it's a very small organization right now. We do hope that it grows bigger, and we're planning on having workshops and to focus especially on the Middle East. I think he will be delighted when he comes out of prison and finds that there is a foundation based on his thoughts and based on the ideas he had. And that I even wanted that to be a surprise for him, but I've already ruined it. He already knows.
I guess 2 final questions. One is, I think a lot of people wonder what his situation is like in prison. How is he? His health, his morale, his morale. If you have any information about his situation there.
أكيد رايف يتواصل.
Raif communicates with us when he gets the chance and when he has a little bit higher morals than usual. He's not doing good emotionally, and it goes worse every day.
يعني أكيد إنه حالته
he's a man who's been away from his kids for 7 years. And that takes a toll on you. He last saw his daughter when she was 8, and now she's 15. He also, his kid is now 14 years old. That takes a toll on you.
Well, I said in introducing you, I said you're a petite woman who's a giant, because you really are such. Apart from Raif, you are yourself such a powerful, inspiring person. So we wish you the best, of course. We're always with you. And, in your speech you said one day Raif is going to be speaking in front of everybody, a free man. So we hope that's the situation as well.
أنا زي ما حكيت لك، أنت حجمك صغير بس بتعطي حجم كتير كبير. أنت لحالك حتى من غير رائف، قوة لحالك وشخصية لحالك. وانت زي ما حكيتي بخطابك انه رائف ان شاء الله يوم من الايام راح يكون موجود معاكم ويخاطبكم، احنا هذا برضو اللي بنتمناه.
Thank you. Merci.
Thank you very much.
أنا الله أشكرك. Merci كتير.
Thank you very much.
A video of 50 mothers singing in defense and support of their Down syndrome children has gone viral. It's a wonderful, inspiring video. They say that they wouldn't change anything about their kids, and that what they'd like is the world to change its views on children that have Down syndrome.
Absolutely, and one of the measures of a civilized society is how they look after the vulnerable.
watching you stand alone. All of my doubt suddenly goes away somehow. One step closer. I've died every day waiting for you, darling.
Hi, I'm Maryam Namazie.
And I'm Fariborz Pooya.
We're hosting a program called Bread and Roses. It's a weekly program that's broadcast in Persian and English in the Middle East and North Africa, primarily Iran as well. And it's also shown on YouTube internationally.
And we've been doing this since last May. We're coming up to our year's anniversary, and we've had quite a lot of fun making these videos.
We discuss taboo-breaking, free-thinking ideas. The Islamic regime of Iran has called us immoral and corrupt.
And that's why you need to support us. We are the alternative voice in Middle East and North Africa.
Of corruption and immorality. So do support us. Here's a short video from Patreon that explains how you can help us with even just $1 a week. That's nothing. Support us.
Patreon lets fans become patrons of their favorite artists and content creators. It's different than Kickstarter because it's not about one big project that requires lots of funding. It's more for bloggers or YouTubers or webcomics, anyone who creates on a regular basis. Here's how it works. When you become a patron, you're agreeing to give an artist a tip of an amount you set every time they release a piece of content, whether it's a new song, a video, or a recipe. You can set a monthly maximum to make sure that you're always within your budget. Choose an amount, enter your payment information, and you're done. Becoming a patron allows you to view and post in the artist's stream, and in exchange for your support, artists offer additional patron packages, which might include monthly Google Hangouts, music production tutorials, pre-sale concert tickets, or anything they can offer as a way to say thanks. Patreon, empowering a new generation of content creators.